Welcome to the Shut Your Mouth podcast. My name is Julie Salofa, and I will be co-hosting with the beautiful Sarah Fata. Welcome to you, Sarah, and thank you for being here today. Today's episode is part of a series called the Blended Family Series. And we have some very special guests today. Before I introduce our special guests, I would just like to mention that I have had the honour and privilege of sharing the last 20 years alongside these key people in our journey of being a blended family unit. So here to share together their experience and knowledge, we welcome Rachel Nolan, Paul Nahona, and Jackson Salofa.
Let's go!
Thank you all for taking the time to be here today to share your experience of being a blended family parent. And welcome to the Shut Your Mouth podcast.
Shut Your Mouth podcast. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
So, the connector to us all is we share or co-parent our daughter, Tamika Tavai Solofa, who has just turned 21. Happy birthday, darling.
Happy birthday. It's me.
We love you dearly. It's been quite a journey, but I wouldn't change it for anything. Tamika's biological parents are Rachel and Jackson.
Hello.
Paul is Rachel's partner, and I am married to Jackson. And together, we are Captain Planet.
Captain Planet, he's our hero.
Together we have formed a unique, loving relationship as a blended family unit. Blended family units come in many different forms, and we represent only one of many various dynamics that a blended family can look like. Paul and I fill the roles commonly known as stepmom, stepdad. Now, I don't know about you, Paul, or anybody else, but I prefer the term bonus mum, bonus dad. So let me explain. For me, being being labelled as stepmom seems far removed for me, almost like I'm not in the picture, like you're the neighbour or, you're a friend. That's what stepmom feels like when I hear that. So I prefer bonus mum. And I know it's not like that in a lot of other family dynamics. Some of the kids may be from the ages of teens to young adults. So therefore, they don't really have much to do with the children. However, my experience as a bonus mum is that I've been actively involved in Tamika's life, so having that label of stepmom doesn't really align with me. So I prefer bonus mum. But in saying that, I think in our household, Rach, I don't know about yours, but we never used that term stepmom.
No, don't use the term stepmom or stepdad.
Yeah.
No.
So Rach and I were both mum, and Jackson Paul were both dad. Tamika, who has just turned 21 a couple of days ago, we were all able to get together and celebrate her life. Not last night, but the night before. And it was a great achievement, especially for us parents as a blended family. So I hope everyone's recovered. I know it's only a couple of days ago.
I was all good.
What's that?
I was all good.
You were all good. You were on the waters, weren't you?
Bubbles.
Have you recovered, babe?
I'm wearing the glasses, mate.
Is that your helping your recovery?
Yeah, helping my eyes science. Yeah.
Firstly, what an honour it is to be sitting amongst two sets of parents committed to the one person. It's such an honour, and I can only imagine what it was like 20 years ago, what that dynamic was like. What I want to hear from each one of you, what is your most favourite part about this blended family, and what is the biggest growth that you've had out of it, out of the experience?
My favorite part of being my experience in our blended family is that we have found neutral, loving ground with each other as older, mature adults. That's what I love about where we are now in our age. Because when you're young, you can't comprehend anything that's going on. You don't know. Like, I wouldn't take me back then. I didn't know much then. But today, with our blended family over the years, it's been hard work, but a loving one, like a very, very, like a genuine, loving one. Like, that's my personal opinion, that, we've had to, really put our stuff to the side and focus on our baby, the child we share together. That's the part I like about us for coming together today, especially for 21st. Obviously you can see all the Instagram posts from our daughter that sharing and tagging. You can see the love that emanates from her, like myself, Julie, Jackson. Paul's not a social poster, but the love is obviously very, very strong, and it's like a wave of putting it out there that, this is what a blended family can very much look like if you can just be humanly loving and caring and accept the people on your side together as who they are. You can't make them fit into something that you want it to be. So that's how I see my family. I love us. I think the many conversations that I've had with Julie, like, just love. Like, I love you, Julie. It's like, I love you too, Rach. Like, I can't it just feels natural. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I don't know about anybody else.
Thanks, Rach. I agree. But I'm going to explain it in my own words. Wait, let me just check the question. Wait, what was the question?
What's the most favourite thing about?
Yeah, okay. The most favourite thing about our relationship is that it's not like fabricated. It's so real to the core that in the beginning, we did not like each other.
Nah.
Like, guys, we did not like each other. Okay.
I liked Paul.
Um,
I like Paul.
I know,
I
I
think
like Paul too.
Yeah,
That's
so
actually my favourite Paul.
mate,
I say
let's
this
get
to,
it right.
to a lot
Don't
of
say
people.
we didn't like each other. No, I like Paul.
Actually, it's actually my turn.
About Paul.
Okay,
I
it's
liked
actually
him.
my turn. So if you can wait for your turn, and then you can
What?
say that you like
No,
Paul. Okay.
let's be real here. You said it's not fabricated. Well, no, I liked Paul.
I'm talking about me and Rach here.
Oh,
Thank
right.
you.
Well,
Just
didn't
wait for your turn.
clarify
Yep.
properly, mate.
Shut up.
Okay. I got you, Paul.
So yeah, in the beginning, I did not know how to live this life like as a blended family, right? So I did not like Rachel. I actually hated her. I hated her. I resented her. And that is the truth,
Oh
right?
my God.
We are now 20 years down the track, and now I fucking love her. Like,
Okay, man.
we've been on a journey, and we will, I'm sure you'll hear soon, as to how our relationship unfolded. But yeah, I love that it was real. It was like, you know how you hear some families and they're like, oh, I fell in love with them. Like, I fell in love with the child. I'm like, cut your bullshit, huh? Like, let's, that's all, nah, that wasn't us. We came from a place where there was so much animosity, so much, a little bit of hate and resentment. But now, oh my gosh, like, so much love for H, so much respect. And yeah, what a journey, Rach.
It has been a very, very good journey. A very good one. A good one. But yeah, like noting on like you talking about for Julie, you know, her disliking me, like hating me, like hearing that now, it doesn't affect me in any way whatsoever. Like it's just like, that's how she felt. You know, that's her, no feelings. Whereas back then, I think a part of me was just like I can't remember, but I do remember feeling like, oh, that's her. That's the new girlfriend. Carry on. Like, yeah. I'm sure, like, I know, like, I was thinking about it on the way here. I was talking to I was like, I don't think me and her, like, really, only probably one time I remember that we, like, were face to face in a place, like, out. And I don't know what it was. I don't know what brewed from that. Like, this is what was outside a nightclub.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm sure you remember
Let's
this.
have a chat. Let's have a chat about that.
Hey, do you guys want me and Paul?
Sorry, you guys. Yeah, we
have our own podcast, or
Oh yeah.
hey, Paul, we might as well just go get some Maccas and wait for these guys to finish, mate.
Sorry.
Oh wait. Okay. Fine. You
I
guys
don't
can
want to
answer
talk
the
that.
question.
Come on, mate. At least hear from Paul. Come on.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
Hey, Paul, your turn.
Okay, so my favourite part, my part is that I like how we've come together as a family unit. It may have taken a little while for us to become that unit as one, but we did it. There's a lot of families out there that cannot get along, blended families, you know, so I think we're one of the minorities of a group.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We've come together and stuck together as a family. We became that, as you quoted on Friday, tribe. You know,
Yep.
we help bring up the kids, and that's what I like. Like I came into Rachel and Tamika's life when Tamika was about four, so that was a bit of a learning curve for me. But, you know, I accepted that. That was the role that I was willing to play. And, yeah. So that's... Being the family is, you know, what I like out of it. That we get along, communicate, and we share the love for Tamika.
Yes. Share the love.
Yes.
Share the love.
Yes. Here's the love.
The communication with our families, like, you know, it's been open. Like, I think the only standoffish things were like when Tamika was, you know, going through some stuff. That would be the most confronting stuff, like us four, you know, facing them each individually.
Yeah. I think that brought us together even closer because
Yes,
the stuff that she went through, right? The older she got, the challenges that came with it, oh my God. Like, it was hard.
And there wasn't full communication, it was mixed communication.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point, Paul.
It wasn't until we actually come together and, hey, is this happening? Because this is what's happening on our side. Is this happening on yours? And no.
Yeah.
It's the total opposite. So then we came together and we left the middle, the mediator in the middle out, and we communicated with ourselves, which we got the true story of whatever was happening at that time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what brought us together.
Closer. Heaps closer.
What's your favourite thing about our blended family, babe?
Was that the question?
That was the question.
That was the question. Thank you for the question. Look, there's many favorite things. There's many favorite things. But though, I guess the one thing I treasure the most is the love, the compassion, and the acceptance from Paul and my wife Jules. So without that love, compassion, and acceptance for Tamika, this wouldn't happen. This wouldn't work. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I hold closest to me, is because, it's, I think, like I said on my speech at Mika's birthday, like, it's hard for any person to take on, a parenting role of a child that's not biologically theirs, But despite the circumstances, Paul and Jules have shown true love and compassion and accepted Tamika as their own. And, that's something that means the world to me. So thank you, Paul. Thank you, my love.
Yeah, Paul. Team us.
And thanks, me. Thanks, Rach.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Great answer.
That was a great answer, hey?
That's very good.
We're going
Paul, we're going to do our own
decided
podcast,
to-
right? Let these guys do their own thing.
For me, I made the decision that, if I wanted to be with Rachel, Rachel came with a child, well, I had to accept that. And, you can't be with someone when they have a child and not accept that child, because they were there before you, or she was there before me. So to be with her mother, well, I had to accept her as well. And that's what I did. Yeah. And I treated her like she was my own, and I always have, because I love this lady, so I love the daughter as well. So you can't be in a relationship with a person that has children and only want to be with that person because you're showing prejudice. They were there before you, so you have to accept them, and you have to love them as well. So, and that's what I did, and that's what I do. That took a while. I think it wasn't on my part. I think it was on Jackson's part, having to,
I did like him. I did like him.
accept that there was, a new male in their life. It took a while for us to actually meet, but that was when Jackson was ready.
Really?
And it took a while.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. We have, and that's the thing, is like there's different perceptions. So,
Did
yeah.
it take a while? When did we first meet?
It took a while.
Yeah, like
Oh, my bad.
no,
Well, I didn't hate you.
no,
No, I didn't have any ill
like
feelings
just
or anything.
like it wasn't just jumping from Paul. I kind of made sure to have some time before bringing the kid, like, because I've got two children. I have an older son, so I made sure that there was enough time where I've had some time with Paul and building our relationship, and then some more time introducing my kids and then time again to introduce dads, and then into Paul being introduced to my family. Because in the past, I've just not thought about anybody. It's just like, oh, here's my new partner. Not realizing the impact on what my kids would go through or how they feel. I never really thought about their feelings, which, now, Paul talking about meeting Jackson, that took time. Just took time for the kids and the children. And I thought that was a very important part of doing it that way in previous past relationships I've had. So, yeah. Thanks, babe. Oh, this is one thing that Paul said to me, during our relationship with the kids, especially with Tamika. He said to me, he loved my children more than he loved me. He said that, and he made that very clear, and I knew straight away that, this is what you want to hear, and this is what you deserve. You know? So from someone who's not biologically the father is beautiful. It's what you want to hear, right?
Look, I don't even remember when it happened. I don't remember how it happened. I don't remember a lot of things. For what I can remember. Well, I don't know. I'm sure it was all good.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was all good.
Yeah,
That was all good.
Yeah, but I think from their perception, it took a while, and I think they're right in a sense that you did take a little bit, it took a while for you to come to the party, because
Okay.
I don't know. You tell us, why did you take a while?
Well, I don't know. I can't remember these things. I don't know.
Just when you felt ready, eh?
Probably. Maybe it's just a protection mechanism as a dad, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sure no dad wants any other guy to be their daughter's dad.
Yeah.
I think ultimately, but I guess I found out at some point it wasn't about me. I just remembered that, and finally came to the party at some point. But it was all good. I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure I was okay.
Yes.
If I wasn't, I'm really sorry. But I did like you. I didn't. Yeah.
You did, and I think that's the theme throughout. It's like a journey, throughout being a blended family, is that we have different understandings of the situation, where it's the same it's the one situation, but we have different understandings of what that situation is, right? On our part, it's a bit different to these guys, because we got together in a way that we both weren't happy with. Long story short, we had a shotgun wedding. So you'll have to go back and watch the episode on that story. So then I became an instant stepmom after being married, right? And I did not love this child. I learnt to love her throughout a little bit of time. It was pretty much being chucked in the deep end and then trying to swim your way out. Yeah.
Because how old were you?
I was 19 when I first met Tamika. Our daughter's name is Tamika Tavaisolofa. And I first met Tamika when she was 8 months and I was 19. We got married at we got married and I was 20. How old are you, babe?
22.
20 something.
21?
Yeah.
22.
So I was a baby. I was still a baby.
You're still a
I was a big
teenager.
baby.
Yeah.
You're still growing. You're still a teenager.
I was still a little shit.
Hi.
Yeah.
Our household, it was my rules. This is my house, my rules.
Yeah, legit. Like seriously. Like,
Our house was her rules. I don't have any rules. I just followed the rules. That's it.
Wow.
well, he likes to think.
Yeah,
that,
you're
but
lucky, Paul. You got the rules, man.
It's the same rules, but, you know, she never followed them.
She didn't follow them, did she?
No.
But, yeah, it was... Our rules were for our house, and whatever rules she had at your house was your fellow's rules. We didn't try to change things. We, you know, just the basics.
Yeah.
Basics. There was nothing over the top. Just do what you asked. Do the right thing. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
she
no-
never listened. Anyway.
No, like, yeah, what Paul said, like, he had rules, like, he was very stern and straightforward with her. Like, there was no fluffy bits or no, like, he actually didn't make it easy for her, but it was very simple. But within our home, it was try to go to school, do the things that you need to do, you know, play a role in our home, whereas, you know, help out with chores, those kind of things, like look after yourself. You had your own toilet, you had your own bathroom, you had your own room. Basically, you could still be independent in home, right? But yeah, it was very, very simple. Try to make it as simple as possible. But I think earlier stages when she was a toddler, or like very early stages, it was easier. It was easier because there was she wasn't in school or high school and stuff like that. She was just a baby that I took care of when it was my time, or toddler during the time that with us and like myself, Paul and Tamika. But because I don't think she was in school then. No, we were just taking care of her, providing her with everything that she needed when she was with us. And then when she would go to mum and dad's, it would be their way of taking care of her, hoping that, you know, that all her, like knowing, like you just had to like know that they were taking care of her. You know, you didn't want to question it or anything like that. It was just like, I know that, I want to know that she's been taken care of. I know she's been taken care of over there. You know. But yeah, I don't think it wasn't too hard. She just had to do it. Just had to do it, yeah.
Rach says she doesn't think it wasn't too hard. I think it was hard. I think it was hard for us in terms of trying to stay on the same,
Oh, yeah.
like, you know, try and keep it the same so that it was actually hard for her, I reckon.
Yeah, her adjusting
try
between
and-
two homes.
That's right.
Trying to adjust between
So
two homes.
there are times where we would have the same rules for certain things, but then you know how there's some things where you're just different on. Like I'll have different rules to, you know, what
Yeah.
you guys would have different rules to. So there was that, you know, and then I think for her it's like that stuff, like anything that's a little bit over a couple of things is too much for our girl. So for that, I think it may have been easy, like it may have looked easy for us, but I think it was
Hard for her.
hard for her.
Hard for her. I guess it would have been like, oh, I'm going to mum and dad, like, to our house. and then it's the leaving part. The leaving part, like, oh, now I've got to change, like, I'm going to mum and dad, like, I don't...
It's a whole adjustment.
Yeah, a whole adjustment, whereas they're thinking about, like, can you imagine a young person going from car to car, home to home with this, I don't know what it's going to be today, like, not saying like our homes were like good homes, very good homes, but can you imagine the world that she was carrying into, like going from one place to another? Like, will this, I guess it's sort of like, will this stop? Will this ever change? Will it get better for me?
That was her world.
Yeah.
She lived out of a bag,
Yeah.
right? So she would leave one household, pack up, go to the next household, pack up, come back to the other household. It was just, it was almost like unsettling, you know, for her that, and we're just talking from what we see and what we think, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to get her on and get her perspective on what it was actually like for her. Because I used to think like Rach, like we would try and parent and keep the rules the same in both our households. But now reflecting back, I'm like, yeah, we say like we kept it the same, but there's some things that we did do differently. And then actually it was probably not like that for her. Like it probably wasn't easy for her.
Like, especially like time windows, you know, because there were moments where like she lived with me, and then it was the weekends.
Yes.
The weekends. And then there was part in her life where she was living with her dad and mum. And then coming to our house.
It was like a ping pong thing for her. You know, she was like back and forth. And different things were happening during those times, and was the reason why she was coming back and forth. Wasn't it, Rach?
Well, so many times, like changing households. Like that would be difficult, but most of the time I like to think that she felt like she could just get up and leave.
But she was making those choices.
Yeah.
To move houses.
She wasn't she?
Yeah,
did we let her make those choices?
Yeah, it was just like, okay,
Holy
fine, you
crap.
can go live with your...
Because we were trying to... Hang on. Give me your reason why you did that.
Why I think was because, say, living with us and then her making the choice that she wanted to come back and live with you guys was because we weren't allowing her to do things that she wanted to do. So, and then she was getting it on your side. So, I can get this over there, so I want to move back with mum and dad. We're like, okay, well, you better ask.
Hold on, before we move on, but what we were doing, we did that is because so that we could share her. Like, we were doing the right thing, you know, in sharing her and having her be in both of our homes with both of our parents. You know, we were doing the right thing. That's what you want to, like. I remember my mother. Sorry, Mum. I remember my mum telling me, "No, don't send your kids to their dad." She didn't want them going to that. She wanted them here with me, only me, no one else. And that's from another story for another time. But she didn't want me to share my kids, and she had her own reasons for it. Like, not a bad reason, but she had her own reasons for it. But I did that so that there was no disconnection or not knowing a family. That was the whole purpose of keeping the door open for however long, or when it needed that, so she would know her dad, have a relationship with her dad, have a relationship with her dad, her grandparents, aunties and uncles, and siblings that came along. That was me loving her in that way because of my own personal experiences that I didn't get to have, and I wanted her to have that. And that was just out of love. I mean, there's a lot of kids out there in these situations, in their families, that don't know who they come from, don't know who their parents are, or their father or their mum or grandparents, and then have this, resentment, or just feeling like they've got a missing part of them that's out there that they just can't fill it. So I feel like doing that, even though she had her own things going on, I felt like I was doing right by her so that she would know who she belonged to and who she came from, but not knowing what we've just talked about, what she could be going through. But yeah.
Yeah, I think at the time, like when Paul mentioned that when she wasn't getting her way in one household, she would be like, oh, I'm going to live with my other mum and dad.
Yep.
Because she would get what she wasn't getting at the other household, at the other household. And Rach just explained her view on that. From my view, it was like...
Say it.
It was like... Who's the parents here? Like, I'm like, the child is wanting to go somewhere. For me, like our upbringing, my upbringing, it's like, why are we letting a child determine what happens? Why are we making this? How old was she?
She in her teens.
12.
Or 12. Well, like, cause she oh man, she did primary school. She did primary school
with us.
First.
Yeah, first.
So then when she came to you guys and then came back, it was like, why are we letting a 12-year-old determine what happens in this family, It's like we're the parents, so we're supposed to make those decisions, not her. So then I was like, that's when I was like, what's going on with these guys? Like, are they the parents or what? Like,
Yep.
And I guess we can talk about it now, whereas before I'm just like, man... thinking that our way of parenting is better,
Yeah.
And
I can understand how you would be feeling that. Like now.
Yeah, like
now,
we can totally talk about those things now,
Now.
right? Whereas before, but that was just me, like I had a closed view of everything, right? So I never considered their style of parenting, is what I'm trying to say. I understood my way of parenting, and that's what I understood, and that's what I thought was right. So to hear, that she was coming back, and it was like she was making the decision to come back, I was like, man, this is wrong.
I don't even know how to think about it. Like, I think I was just doing it to make her happy.
And that too.
Doing it to make her
did you
happy.
say that? Did you just admit that?
Yeah.
Yes, I was right.
We're just doing it to make her happy. Make
That
her happy.
too.
Make it, not in a happy, just like so that there's no conflict,
Yeah.
because last thing you want is, you don't want to make things or suffocate her in any kind of way, but I did it because I wanted her to be happy. That would be the truth.
That is exactly
Wanted her
what
to
I
be
got
happy.
from you throughout the years, Rach, is like Rach wanted to keep her happy. Right? And here is me saying, we need to be adults. We are the parents. She is the
I'm
child.
not happy. That's what you wanted to say.
But no, I clearly got that message from Rach, is that she's just doing everything that Gingy wants. Like,
it literally was, and that was a personal projection of my stuff as what I personally went through growing up. Because. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. But yeah, I wanted her to be happy.
It's cool. I'm glad we've addressed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was keeping her happy, because, and I didn't look at it that way. Like, I'll say it, she was very, I'm sorry to make it, but it's the truth. She was very, could pull the strings, was manipulative.
Oh my God. Please, everybody share their story of how she played us so many
You're
times.
so good. You're so good. But that's not to highlight that she's a bad child. It's just that these are the experiences. They're actually probably trying to do what's right for them. Like not knowing that, hey, this is not good. You're actually coming across as quite manipulative and you're trying to change things. But she was doing that for her, to suit her.
Of course.
Always trying to suit her. Oh, mate. Like many times, this girl.
How many times, guys?
How many times?
How many times has she played us off?
But we love you. Love you so much.
And maybe you're watching right now and you have a child that's playing you off. You better get on top of that.
Get on top of it. Girl or boy.
They learn at a young age. If they can see what they can get from one parent versus another
Oh, yeah.
parent.
They learn at a young age
They
to
don't
play
know
us
the
off.
name of it, but they know how to get it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's so true.
And that's what happened to us. But took us a while to
You
cotton
remember
on.
those phone calls like, hey,
What's an example, guys, of how she played us off?
oh, was it? See, she did primary school with us. And then we remember we had a catch up. We had a catch up to talk about the next step into transitioning into high school.
Yeah.
We had to talk about that. And like, I really wanted her to do high school with me.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. I really, really wanted that. And I think it turned out well. I think that whole talk. But I really wanted her to do high school with me. I really
Can
wanted.
you explain your reason, Rach, as to why you wanted that?
Because she wanted to be there for her in her going through those teen years of, I wanted to nurture her more into her, that next life. Because teen years, what high school is 12, 13? And that's the crucial age of girls going through hormonal change. Their hormonal change, body change, going through their womanly cycle. Like, I wanted to have that part of her life, but also help her navigate the next part of I just wanted to be there. I just wanted to do more. But I wanted to keep a close an eye and maybe have a better relationship than I did with my own mum. I wanted that. I wanted that for her. Wow. Yeah.
I didn't want that.
Yeah, I wanted that. I wanted that for her.
I didn't want that.
You didn't want that?
No.
Okay. Why didn't you want that?
Because
Explain yourself.
I just didn't want her to leave. Remember, I held on to it for as long as I could. Until, obviously, until I, finally decided that, yes, it's not about me. And that's what I was holding on to. Because, having Tamika through primary school and stuff, and having that conversation about her going to Rachel's for high school, that took me a long time.
I do remember.
It took me a long time to accept it.
I do remember how the day sitting with Jackson, I literally was I'm hoping he will say yes. I was hoping he.
Did you think he would?
No.
Why?
No, because he's a male, he's the father, and a bit of me felt like I was hurting him, but I wanted to, I wanted her.
You wanted to hurt me?
No. I felt like
Lucky.
it's like I didn't want to. I knew that it would be hurting him for him to let go of her in this part. I I now thinking about remember seeing him and very tense, because I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to, but in a way it seems quite selfish that I want her too. So it's quite obvious that the love is strong for us to have her. It's not like we can cut her up and you have one person at the other, we can't do that.
Yeah.
But that was my reason for her, so I could be there. I could be there with this next stage, just helping her to be a better young lady through her transitioning into woman.
And I understood that.
Young lady.
But Jackson had a hard time, didn't you?
Mm.
So what
Yes.
happened? What happened? What did you decide?
Well, I just accepted the fact that one, it's not about me. Two, it was a great opportunity for Tamika and Rach to build, a better relationship as mother and daughter. And that was through a lot of talk, obviously a lot of conversations with you to help me to understand all of that and process it in a way that, okay, cool, I can let her go, it's fine. She'll come back at some point.
Yeah.
At some point she will. And she is.
She's back.
She's back. She's back. 21 and
came
back at home. Maybe you should be out there in the world, mate. Hey, in your house, in your car. But no. But, I love it. It's fine. It's all good. It all worked out.
Yeah. I really, that's really, I'm hearing this for the first time too, on Jackson, because, if everybody's seen Jackson, he's a tall, big guy, and he can come across as quite intimidating.
Just big teddy bear. It's a big teddy bear.
So
Until you poke it.
I tell you, bug. In the soft area.
but yeah, because I knew him in another time of our life, right? This is different. This is very serious. We're talking about this child. So me, I'm like, oh man, I hope. And thank goodness for Julie was able to, smooth it out and make it a little bit easier. Thank you, my dear.
She used the iron, put me on the iron board. Hey, it's going to be all right, mate. She's going to come back. Okay.
Oh my God.
Can you repeat that again?
No, there wasn't a lot of time to think about it. No, so when Rachel and I separated, no, there was no talk actually.
No, there
was no talk.
No talk.
Yeah, it just happened quickly, very quickly. It was all just a blow, I guess, for both of us when it happened, and I'm sure we'll discuss that real soon, shortly. But there wasn't any discussions. When we separated, I wanted to take Tamika with me, and at some point it happened, and then then these two beautiful people came along, and we worked it out.
Hey, do you remember though? It was Jackson's mum, Nana Kavai, lovely lady. That actually, I don't know if you remember it, Jackson, but Nana Kavai really wanted Tamika.
Yes.
Yeah, really wanted.
So my mum told me that she was going to take Tamika, and that I had to live as if she was my sister. Yeah. So, how was that for me? Well, I said no straight away, because I couldn't allow that to happen, and it'd be too hard to, with everything that happened, it'd be too hard for me to sort of just throw it all away and just, leave her with my mum and pretend my life is normal. I'm all good. I'm not actually a dad. I have a younger sister now. And I couldn't accept that. So.
Yeah, on top of that, his mum asked me that too. Same thing, I said no. But then, the ongoing talks was, I want Tamika to be with me to do preppy. Do you remember her going to prep just up the road? Mm. She wanted that for her, and I let it. I let that happen. So I had me and Jackson, Julie, taking care of her up until preppy, and then I allowed her to stay to do prep.
You allowed her to stay reluctantly?
Yeah.
You didn't want that?
No, I didn't want to. And like just previous what I said, I just did it to make her happy. And being like a young person, then anybody would think, oh, no, you just
To
want
make
to go out.
Nana happy, or
Yeah, to make her happy. But anybody like in a different kind of way of thinking might think, oh, no, you didn't want you didn't want to take responsibility for her. That wasn't that. It was just I did it to, okay, you can. And then I just remember the times, Nana could fucking, hey, she needs more tops for school. So like, just here, I'll go buy them. Yeah, done. For preppy. So, yeah. But I'll say this though, she played a big role in that part. Massive role. Like Jackson's mum has been like a wonderful lady, like very, very loving mother from my perspective. A very loving mother, Nana towards Tamika because of her namesake. So, yeah.
Yeah, my parents literally treated Tamika as their own daughter, even though I wouldn't accept them taking full ownership of her, if that makes sense. And they only wanted to do that because I knew that they loved this child, and maybe to try and protect me too. Maybe, because I remember my mum saying that she just wanted, I can go live my life, and she'll look after Mika. She'll take over, and yeah, I just couldn't accept that. So, yeah, but obviously both my mum and dad did an amazing job helping me along the way because I was only 19, so still trying to figure myself out. I'm a little girl here too, so that was pretty full on too. So, yeah.
Well, that question in her, I felt like like when I wanted to have her for that next transition, I could feel that she wanted to be with. I'm sure she really wanted to be with her father. I know, yeah, she really wanted to be with her, but I was like, yeah, she did. She did really want to be with her dad, but I really, really wanted her. And I never really asked I never really asked what she wanted, but she knew what I wanted. So she just went with it. But deep down inside, I know that she wanted to be with her father. And I think sometimes part of me feels responsible for some other stuff that she may be going through and feeling. But that wasn't to like pull her away from her father. It was because I wanted to have that with her before she moved on. I don't regret anything. Like,
Was that question within our blend, us as a blended family?
Really?
Oh,
no. Yeah. Hearing her was a tough pill to swallow. It felt like, don't you love me? Don't you love me? I'm your mum. Am I not good enough? Like, what has your dad got that I have, that I don't have? That's what that was. But I didn't say that to her.
Yeah.
Because I love you. I birthed you. Yeah, I birthed you. I love you. And
How dare you?
kind of.
How dare you want to go to your dad's?
That's that is that. Yeah. Like, I think about that conversation because, like, that conversation, like, my heart was fluttering with her because I know that you're hearing me say I was doing everything to make her happy and for anything for her, but I wanted this for me, not being self. I'll say it. I was being selfish. I wanted that for me, for her, but wanting to have a better mother and daughter relationship with her. That's what I wanted for me and her. She still had her father. Regardless, she still had her father. Regardless, would not ever take that away from her. but I can't imagine like how she'd be like, because if you know Tamika, she loves all of us, she does, but she loves her dad.
She
Her
loves
dad.
her father.
He loves her. I'm just going to say it, Tamika. You love your father more than you love us. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong
Hey,
with
it's
that.
not a competition, guys.
No,
Come
it's
on.
not.
It's not. It's not. It never has been.
Like,
It's
it
never
really
been a
is,
competition,
yeah.
guys. Hey.
But it really isn't. Like, it isn't a competition, and that I accept, because that's, you know, a love between a father. I understand that. So, yeah, she loves her father, and like, you know, I'm thinking about, man, I must have taught her a little bit, you know, imagining her now, like back then, like, oh, I have to go home, live with mum and her other dad, Paul. I'm just gonna suck it up and do it. But yeah, I have no regrets. No regrets whatsoever. There's some stuff in there that you're like a little bit questionable, but hey, it's
Yeah. And there's so many teenagers out there that can take from her story, you know, and can take from her experience, parents as well. For me, no regrets, because this is how we got here. Like, this is how, from day one, guys, to now, man, I don't even know how to explain it, because there's so many blended families out there that are not this, that are like opposite, dragging each other through court over the kids.
yeah.
You know, all sorts of like ugly things, and we're so blessed that we're sitting here and not, you know, I guess we made the ultimate decision to be this way, you know. We could have went to court. We could have.
Yeah, we could have done that, but we didn't.
We could have.
It was never about
ran
money.
each other down,
Yeah,
you
never
know?
about money. Never about objects, things. It was never about that.
Yeah. So we're pretty blessed. We're pretty blessed to be sitting here today doing a podcast together. It's like Paul said in the beginning, we are in minority. Like, this is not normal.
No, it's not normal.
You can't even get like the same
You
parents
can't get
in
the same parents in
room.
the same room. Like, I'm sure, like, out there are parents that like have birthdays, right? Or no, like we've had this chat about. We've always had separate birthdays.
Yeah.
Separate birthdays. Like one Christmas here, one Christmas there.
Yeah.
Holidays here, holidays there. But this birthday with our daughter,
It was a huge milestone because we celebrated that together.
together.
Right?
Together.
And that was the first time that we've celebrated together. Whereas in the previous years, we've had separate birthdays
Separate
for all her
birthdays.
birthdays.
Yes, we
she'll
have.
celebrate a birthday with you, and then she'll come back and celebrate the same birthday with us.
Twice.
2
So
birthdays.
she was lucky.
Birthdays.
Oh, this kid, man.
You're so
honestly.
lucky to me. You didn't even think about that until now.
She got double the love.
Yeah.
But yeah, no regrets for me. You, babe?
Paul, any hard conversations or any regrets?
No regrets, because I say what I mean.
Yes, you do.
You do?
But one hard conversation I remember, one of our mediations or interventions, as we used to call them, with
Interventions.
Tamika. When you came over to our house, I can't remember if it was over a boy or something, but I said to her, in your presence, that, you know, she got pregnant when she was a teenager, that she wouldn't get no help from me or financial help from me. Mm-hmm. I meant what I said in a way, but it was more to shock her and to, you know, think what she's doing before she acts, because I wasn't happy what she did, and I'm pretty sure you weren't either.
No. Someone nearly died, but it's probably a good thing they didn't.
Yeah, so it was more to shock
scaring
the,
tactic.
shock the
Yeah,
child
scary
into,
tactic.
you know, oh shit, think about it before you, because, you play adult games, you got to expect those consequences. And
That's right.
that word there would be instilled in her brain. That was probably the second word that came out of my mouth talking to her, was consequences. So she hear that word, I'm probably the first thing that pops into her head.
Consequences.
I like that word. But no, I don't regret anything. But that's one conversation that I'm sure shocked you three. But it was,
And that's
try
why I
and
like
make
you,
it
Paul.
open her eyes.
Yeah. That's why I like. He's my favorite Paul. That's why I like him, because he's straight up and down, man. Like, there's judgment, everywhere you go, there's judgment. So I think about, like, what am I going to say? Like, in my, what I thought I was going to say was, you can't say anything else but the truth. Like, I think people are going to relate. Like, people are going to relate to that truth, Like, you may have a truth that you need to tell. Yeah. Oh, we've
Heaps.
had 1,000,
There's
million, trillion
trillion.
conversations, many conversations, right, guys? Like, countless.
Hold on. Sorry. I'm bringing it back to me again. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
Please don't. Don't be sorry.
The hardest conversation now that I'm really thinking about it was 2 years ago, Christmas time. All right. So the hardest conversation was when she wanted to move out.
Ooh.
She wanted to move out. And, like, of course I want my kids to move out and grow up, but I didn't want her to move out in the way that she wanted to move out because she wasn't equipped. She wasn't ready. That her leaving, I had to accept that she had to leave me. And her leaving me left a big, big, big gap in my heart, like, literally. This was just before Christmas, two weeks out for Christmas. And for her to leave was her, if you're like a very angry mother, like with, I felt like, why are you leaving me? Like, don't leave me now. I'm not ready for you to leave. I'm not ready to give you up. I'm not. I wanted her to stay with me for as long as you could, with all the things that, like, for what you want for a young adult to go and live okay, knowing that they got everything. And I knew my baby didn't have everything. I wanted her to leave with something and have the things so she's able to go and live her life. But I wasn't ready to give her up. And I felt like I was mourning. I was like sad. I was very sad. Didn't know what it was. Didn't know how to feel, but I knew that it hurt so much that she was going to leave. And the night that she left, it sounds so terrible, I told her, if you're going to move in one go. You don't come back. One go. Don't come back and pick up all your things. If you're going to move home, you can leave with everything now. And I went to bed so shitty, so mad, so angry and crying. And I could hear her, and that was the hardest thing for me. Just to kind of, I had to accept her choice. And it took a long time to accept her. I still loved her. I just wanted to hear from her, but I didn't hear from her. And that was okay, but it left like a big gaping heart. And this one is just like December, January, February, March. Babe, are you okay? Like, no. Like, I just cried because I wasn't talking about it. And I just had a complete big cry because, like, someone just left me. My daughter left me. And over time, I had to just accept that this is what mum's first love feels like. True love feels like when your child leaves you. So
It's like a breakup.
it is. Basically that's what it is. Breaking up with your child when she wants to break up with you and leave you, but she's not really leaving you. She's actually there. It's just she's choosing to live her life, and you have to accept that. Because I know many times in my life where I've tried to do things and I was like, we'll leave that for another time. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to talk about that. That was the toughest conversation with you.
Don't be sorry. Please, when you
know.
feel like you need to say
know.
something and tell a story, please do, because it needs to be heard.
I don't think Tamika knows about that either. No, she knows. So
Nah,
she'll be hearing
she's
it for the
gonna know
first
about
time.
it now.
Jeez. Jeez.
That was all you had?
Me?
Did you have any regrets?
Oh, I'm about to. Nah,
I'm sorry.
I'm all good. Why do I always get lost? Why are you leaving me out these things? Oh, fools.
We're all inclusive.
Okay. Okay, the big teddy bear for last. Okay. No regrets for me. Like, it's all good.
The end.
Yeah, the end. You know, obviously, we've all had the hard conversations, and we're still gonna have plenty more
Oh, yes,
hard conversations
yes.
while she's still.
Doesn't end here.
Yeah, like it doesn't end here. Like it wasn't too long ago we had a hard it was last week. And then I think it was 2 weeks before that.
Oh my god.
You know, because obviously she's still learning.
And that's the thing, is like once they turn 21, you think, oh, yep,
No,
done.
they think-
Dusted.
Bye.
They think they're like they think they're
No,
on
no,
top of
no.
the world when they turn 18. It's like, nah, mate,
It doesn't end there.
it doesn't end there. I'm pretty sure the day she gets married, I'm still gonna have hard conversations with her. Even when I'm in a wheelchair, I'm still. Tamika, how many times I gotta tell you, mate? Hey? Still gonna be having hard conversations. But yeah, nah, no regrets. I love these guys. I love you, man.